Hi guys, today we're gonna have a look to my... I had an idea. Today we're gonna have a look to my little collection of amps. I have to say that I love amps more than guitars. In fact, I can make amps and I can't make guitars. But first, please subscribe to my channel. Here down here you can click to the subscribe button, and aside to the subscribe button here there is a little bell to have updates of all my uploads. So let's get it on. These are all the amps I have. I hope that you can see all the amps in the picture. I hope. Starting from these, this is a Fender Super Champ X2, Mexican Fender amp. This is an hybrid amp between tube and digital amp. This one has two channels. The first one fully tube, and the second one with amp emulation. And I have to say that I love this amp. It was a little, it had the baffle vibrating very hard under the low frequencies, so I added some iron supports under the baffle, and I love this amp so much that I've swapped the speaker with a 10-inch Jensen Alnico speaker. I love this amp because I think it's very intelligent amp, because I have I can use the effect section with both the channels, so I can have a clean sound, a clean tube sound with a good choice of effects, and I love this thing. This is a Marshall Class 5 amp, a good rough amp. This is a bad boy. I love this amp for this is some kind of Swiss knife. I can do anything with this. This one has a little reserve of clean. This is a 5 watts amp, and at the half the volume is in crunch mode. So this is good for hard rock, for not for heavy metal. This is some kind of tiny plexi, so the sound is similar to JTM 45, I have to say. This amp was made in England, and I think that Marshall got that they have made too much cheap amp for the specs, and a too good amp. So maybe the bigger amps that costed way more were affected. The sales of that amps were affected from the sales of this amp. I'm lucky to have this amp because Marshall took away this amp from the market very soon after launching it, and I love this amp. I don't play it very often because this amp has a very high volume. I mean, it's a 5 watts, but the volume is very high. At the half of the volume, you can't stand here in my room. So I have to, and this is not a master volume amp, so it's a very vintage kind of amp. Anyway, I love this amp. I am very lucky to not have sold this one, because some years ago, when I took this one, my thoughts was to sell this amp, and I was very lucky to not to find someone that had wanted to buy this amp. I used this amp wired to, I had 2 Palmer cabinets. I will show you these cabinets right now, and I love these amps because these cabinets, because they are loaded with Celestion greenbacks. One is loaded with one, the first one, the one that I use with the Class 5, is loaded with one Celestion greenback, and the other one that I mainly use with the JTM 45, or with the other amps. I play with all the amps that I can wire to other cabinets, so I make a lot of experimenting on the wiring of the cabinets. And the other one is loaded with 2 greenbacks, and I love greenbacks and Jensen's Alnico, to have that clear glassy sound with the Celeste, with the Jensen, and crunchy warm sound, with aggressive crunchy warm sound with the greenbacks. Moving forward, this is the Orange Tiny Terror combo. This is a 15 watts amp. This is a 1-channel amp, a single channel amp, with just volume gain and tone. I love this amp because you can have a true tube saturation sound with the opportunity to dose the volume as you wish. So it's a very warm and pleasing sound with a Celestion 12-inch speaker. I love this amp. Unfortunately, I have to revalve this amp because the tubes are gone. Now the tubes are gone, but I'm waiting for enough money to do that, because I want to put in there good tubes and not cheap ones. I often use tongue soles because I love the tubes. I love tongue soles tubes, as I've put tongue soles also on this amp, on the Super Champ. but I think that also TED tubes are very good. In fact, I've put TED tubes on this amp. This is a Fender, a clone of early 50s Fender Champ, I think 5F1. This was made. This is the only amp I made by myself. I I'd love to make some other amps. I'd love to make a bassman, but I don't have enough money to make another amp, because making an amp is very funny. Is needs much knowledge to not hurt yourself or make bad decisions of wiring your amp. But it's not very cheap. You don't I don't know how to say this. Anyway, it's not cheap to do an amp, even by yourself. You don't you pay almost the same that you pay to buy, for example, a bassman from Fender, an original bassman from Fender. Maybe if you make the amp by yourself, you pay almost the same thing, the same money. Anyway, this is a single amp, less than 5 watts. I think that this is some kind of 3.5 or 4 watts amp. This one has a 6-inch, I think, or 6 or 8-inch Jensen Alnico, and this one has just the volume. This is a full tube amp. With there is no solid state components in this amp, and this is just made like Leo Fender did in the early 50s. It's the same fucking amp.
Say what?
I took all the components, searching for pictures of original one. I ordered handmade transformers to match the original ones. So this is just like Leo did back in the days. I love this amp, and many people love this little tiny amp. If you wire this amp, the only thing that I changed is the impedance of the output transformer, that now is 8 ohms, because I think that this is much more comfortable to wire with other speaker cabinets. And this amp, when you wire it with 12-inch speaker cabinet, roars very bad, and this is a little tiny bad boy with a lot. This is some kind of strange historic kind of amp, because it has a very low reserve of clean sound. Just because if you think about making an amp in 1954 maybe, you can imagine that if you want an amp, a tiny amp like this, you are supposed to want low volumes, and there was no they were not playing distorted sounds. You know, the overdrive was not the sound that should come from an electrical guitar back in that days. So and this is this is working in a very strange way, this amp. And I've made a little change to the wiring of the two jacks, input jacks, to have the original sound coming from the original Leo Fender sound coming from one jack, and another much more modern, much more aggressive and usable sound from the other jack. But the first one plays just like Leo Fender wanted to back in the days. And essentially it's the same fucking amp that Leo Fender did back in the days. The Blackstar HT5, this is the first series of this amp. Now this amp has the new series of this amp as a digital reverb. This one is a two channel amp. This is a bad boy because I use this amp when for the 5 minutes a year that I want to play heavy metal. I was selling this one back in the days, some time ago, and I'm very happy that no one bought this one because I love this amp and I need it. I actually need it, and this is the only amp that I have that makes me play some kind of much more rough sounds. And this one is a 5-watt amp. I love this amp because it's very aggressive and has that kind of closed sound that you need to make some high gain sound, high gain kind of tones without making just noise. This tiny one is an amp that I bought. I bought for joke. I had some money and I wanted to try this tiny little amps from Houghton. This is the Purple Wind and should be an emulation of the 1959 from Marshall, and this plays very well. It's surprisingly, and this one has a lot of connections. You can wire every kind of speaker cabinets you want to this one. This one has a line out and an effects loop, 3 bands, EQ, and gain and volume. I love this amp. Anyway, it's a solid state amp and plays like a solid state amp. But if you want to not to make a lot of noise, there is no clean in this amp. If you don't want to make a lot of noise and maybe practice or play some guitar in a relaxed way, this is the amp for you. I love this amp. Maybe in the future I will take some other amps just like this. This is the Koch. I don't remember how this one is named. Maybe Studio Attenuator. Anyway, this is a dummy load or an attenuator. I don't use this one so much because I think that this one sucks very much tone for the amp. So I just play my amps at full volume. Often I use some kind of earplugs that just attenuates the volume of my amp. this is sucking very hard. About almost every bass frequency coming from my amp. I don't like it. This one has also some outputs that should make you record, some emulated outputs that should emulate speakers and microphones, but I don't like the way it plays. I don't like the fact that when you wire these kind of attenuator to a sound card in the computer, or when you try to record this little thing, it plays very bad, and volume is very high. Sometimes you can't you can't turn down the volume, so it plays very hard. I don't use it so much, so I have wired all the thing to have the thing bypassed. This one is my JTM 45 or 2245, as you want to say, coming from Marshall, England. I love this amp because many people says that Marshalls are not good for clean sounds, but I think that it's not true. I love this amp. Actually, I play this amp very often because I love the clean sound coming from this amp. It's basically a Bassman clone made by Marshall after Leo Fender made the Bassman, and I have nothing to say about this amp. I have just to say that for some reason the panel of this amp went bad after some years, and Marshall was so kind to send me another couple of panels, and I swapped the panel with this new one coming for free from Marshall. And I loved the care that Marshall had to me to send this beautiful new panel. And the old one, I don't know why, was badly stained, so I've sent some pictures to Marshall with my damaged panel, and they sent this new one to me. It's a two-channel amp with a lot of, to me, a lot of knobs. And usually I play this one in, it's a 30 watts amp. I play this one wide with my pedal board in clean mode, and I take all the sounds from my pedal board, and this one gives to me a very good bluesy sound to make to have a good sound coming from my pedal board, and it's a good amp for the pedals. I love the clean of this amp. Next, this is a 22 watts deluxe reverb amp. I love this amp. Maybe this amp has the most beautiful clean sound I have ever heard. This one has a beautiful, it's a full tube amp, wide with a 12-inch not Alnico Jensen speaker, and it has two channels, one without any effect and the other one with a vibrato, or it's better to say a tremolo, and a beautiful 60s sounding spring reverb in both of the effects are totally tube driven. I love this amp because every time I hook up to this wire, to this amp is sounding just like the sound coming from this amp is just like I expect to sound some kind of 60s surf rock album. So I love this amp for all the sounds coming from the 60s era, for blues, for rock and roll, for everything. And this is a 22 watts amp. I love this one, and nothing to say about this. If you want the most beautiful sound, clean sound, this is the amp for you. And I think that this one is the best sounding between the deluxe reverb, the Princeton reverb, and the twin reverb. I had a twin reverb by an 80 watts amp, but I don't like that amp like I like this one. Then there is another amp that I have here. I can't show you this way, so you are seeing that amp right now. This is a strange amp because it's an Ecosonic, I don't remember the Ecosonic 120 model. This was a gift from a customer when I had my shop. This is an Italian early 60s made amp. This has a very good clean sound, a vibrato, very pleasing. I love this amp because this amp has a story. That guy came to my shop back in the days with this amp, and there was not sound coming from the speaker. I found that all the amp had the capacitors cracked. The speaker was not working anymore. The tubes were gone, just because he had never swapped for new ones. So I told him that there was some money to spend to fix this amp, and he said that he was going to trash it. So I took this amp and I fixed it piece by piece in the time, and now I have this cool, beautiful, it's a 22 watts amp. But it's wide, it's it's designed to have not too much volume and play just clean, because at that time the overdrive sound was not, you know, a thing that a guitarist could need, I think, especially here in Italy. I love this amp, and these are all my amps. I hope you enjoyed my video. You can have a watch to my other videos about my guitars in my channel. You can find it in my channel, but I'm pretty sure that you are seeing some links to the first two videos about my collection of guitars. So please check it out and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me also on Instagram. You can search for Moody Fraser. I'm also on Instagram. So it's all. Bye.